Hello students and welcome to this new video. This new video is the part 5 video of our chapter 4 which we are currently studying. Our chapter 4 is Understanding Windows, and in this part 5 video we are going to cover the remaining portions of the chapter. Okay, if you remember, in the previous part 4 video we have studied two main topics which were changing the desktop background, and then we have studied how we can change the screensaver. Okay, so today again I will go through these two topics very quickly so that these two topics will be revised for you all, and those of you who might have had any difficulty when understanding these two topics from the previous video, they will also be able to understand this more clearly by looking into this video. Okay, so now let us revise these two topics very carefully and very quickly. See, this I have told you before also in the previous video, that desktop background can be also be changed as per our choice. Okay, we can change the desktop background, we can change the appearance of the desktop, we can change how our desktop is appearing as per our choice. Okay, we can also insert some image, we can also set some image as a desktop background. Okay, we can also set some image to be a desktop background, or we can also have the desktop background to be plain, having some color, like we can have the desktop background to be in plain blue color or in yellow color or any other color. So we can customize the desktop background as per our own choice. Okay, so for changing the desktop background we have to follow a simple sequence of steps. These steps are given over here. First of all, you have to right click on the blank area of the desktop. Okay, blank area means where there is no other icon. There you have to right click using the right mouse button. You have to right click on the blank area of the desktop. Then in the next step you will find the list of options. Okay, you will find the list of options. So what you have to do, these list of options are also known as the shortcut menu. So this shortcut menu appears whenever we right click on any portion of the screen, whether it is the desktop, whether it is a taskbar, whether it is the notification area, or anywhere, or even in the file explorer also. Okay, if we right click on any portion of the screen or any window, what we'll get, we will always get a list of options. Okay, always whenever you right click on any portion of the screen, we always get a list of options. This list of options is called the shortcut menu. Okay, from this shortcut menu we have to choose the option. Which option we have to choose? For changing the desktop background, we will select the personalize option. Personalize means what? We are changing something as per our own requirement. This is the meaning of personalize. So you will select the personalize option. Then in the fourth step, what will happen? The personalization dialog box will appear. As soon as we choose the personalize option, the personalization dialog box will appear. Okay, you can see that this box is also shown over here also. Okay, then what we will do, we will click the desktop background. Okay, we will click the desktop background. Okay, see, it is having different options. This personalization window, see, this desktop background is also one option. I will zoom it for you. See, even after zooming, if you are not able to see the image properly in the video, then I will suggest that you should open your book to this page, and you can see the desktop background in the figure 4.10. okay, in the figure 4.10 it is given on page number 38. On page number 38 you can look into figure 4.10, and from there you can understand this picture very clearly. Okay, you can see in this personalization window the desktop background is one of the options which is given at the bottom. After this, you can also see that at the bottom right corner of the screen you can also see this, there is a screensaver option. Okay, so this screensaver option will be selected when we are changing the screensaver. Okay, here we are changing the desktop background, so we will choose the first option at the bottom, which is the desktop background option. Okay, then what you will do, see, we will first of all we will select the desktop background option. We will click on the desktop background. Then what will happen, as soon as you choose this option, the choose your desktop background window will open. Okay, a new window will open which will have the name choose your desktop background. Okay, it will be having multiple images. Okay, these are the multiple images which we can choose. We can choose any of these multiple images, and we can set any of these images as our desktop background. So we can choose a desktop background, any of these multiple images which will be appearing in this window. Okay, so you will select either one picture for desktop background, or what we can do, we can also select more than one picture to create a slideshow. If you create more than one picture, then what will happen, our desktop background will keep on changing like a slideshow. If you have ever seen a PowerPoint presentation, what is there in a PowerPoint presentation? There are different slides which are displayed one after the other in a slideshow. In a slideshow, these different slides are changing one after the other. So similar to the slideshow, here also, if we select more than one pictures as a desktop background, then what will happen, these pictures will be changing one after the other like a slideshow. A slideshow will be created of the desktop background pictures, and a desktop background will be changing one after the other after a certain period of time. Okay, Then what you will do, as soon as you select one picture, then what you will do, you can see the preview of the picture. A preview of the selected background will be appearing on the monitor. Okay, a preview of the selected monitor will be selected background picture will appear on the monitor. So you can preview means what, that we can view the background how it is looking before actually setting it as the final background. Okay, it allows us to check how our background is looking. Okay, so a preview of the selected background will appear on the monitor. Then what we can do, after selecting the background, we will click on the save changes button. Okay, after selecting the background, after you have chosen the background, you will click on the save changes button and you will close the dialog box. Okay, so from following these simple set of steps, we will be able to change our desktop background. See students, I am going a little bit fast because I have already explained these things in the previous video. I am only revising these two topics. That is why I am going at a slightly fast speed. Okay, I hope you all will understand it quite better this time. Okay, now next topic is changing the screensaver. Okay, the screensaver is what? The screensaver is an image which pops up on the computer screen whenever a computer is left idle. Computer is left idle means what? Whenever nobody is working on the computer for a period of time, when the computer is doing no job, no work for a certain period of time, then what will happen? After a certain period of time has expired, after that an image will automatically pop up on the computer screen. An image will automatically appear on the computer screen, and that image is known as the screensaver. Okay, okay, so if the computer is left idle for a certain period of time, then what is the screensaver? The screensaver is an image which will automatically pop up on the screen. Okay, now how can we get back to the original screen from the screensaver screen? For that, by pressing any key or moving the mouse, we can again get back to the normal screen. Normal screen means the screen which was there before the screensaver had appeared. That is the normal screen. So how can we get back to the normal screen? By either pressing it from the keyboard or by moving the mouse on the screen, we will be able to get back to the normal screen. Okay, so there is a certain wait time. Whenever we are changing the screensaver, we have to set a wait time. See, the wait time is that time for which the system will wait. Okay, the wait time is that time for which the computer will wait, and it will check whether the system is idle or not. Okay, if for that period of time the system is idle continuously, if nobody is working on the system is left idle for that period of time, then what will happen after that wait period is over? Then the computer will automatically activate the screensaver and the screensaver will appear on the screen. So this time is known as the wait time, and it is set in the window as at the time of changing or creating the screensaver. At the time whenever we are setting any screensaver, we have to also set some value for the wait time. The wait time is that time for which time the system will wait it will check whether the system is idle continuously for that time or not. Okay, now what are the simple steps for which are to be followed for changing the screensaver? For changing the screensaver, we have to follow these simple steps. See, most of the steps are similar to what we have seen for changing the desktop background. Most of the steps are similar. The same steps which we had followed for changing the desktop background, a similar set of steps which we followed for changing the screensaver also. Only there will be change in some fixed number of steps afterwards. Okay, initial steps are the same. Initial 3-4 steps are the same for changing the desktop background as well as for changing the screensaver. Here also, the first step for changing screensaver is that you have to right click on the blank area of the desktop. This step was exactly same as the first step for changing the desktop background. Okay, it is exactly same as the desktop background step. Here also what you will do, you have to right click on the blank area of the desktop. Okay, now what is the second step? The second step is to click on the personalize option. Again the same step which we had followed for the desktop background. Here the same thing we have to follow for the screensaver also. So you will click on the personalize option. Then what will happen? Now the personalization dialog box will appear. Okay, see, in that case also the third step was that the personalization dialog box had appeared. Okay, after selecting the personalize option. Okay, so these 3-4 initial steps are the same. Okay, that the first 3-4 steps are the same for both the things. Okay, now where is the change? The change will occur in the fourth step. Here you have what you have to do after the personalization dialog box has appeared. In the fourth step, you have to click on the screensaver option. Previously, what option we had chosen? We have to click on the desktop background. Okay, here what we have to do, we have to click on the desktop background for changing the background. But here what we are going to do, we are going to change the screensaver. So here what is the next step? Here we have to click on the screensaver option. Okay, then what will happen? The screensaver settings dialog box will appear. See, you can see in the figure 4.11. In the figure 4.11 on page 38, you can see in your book also, it is given there very clearly. The screensaver settings dialog box will appear. Now what we will do, see, you can see in the middle section of the window, there is a screensaver section. Okay, so you have to click on the drop down arrow in the screensaver section. Okay, and what will happen? A list of different screensavers. See, our Windows operating system is also providing us with a list of different screensavers. Okay, so you have to click on the you have to click on the arrow in the section screensaver section. What will happen? A drop down list will open. From that drop down list, we have to select any particular screensaver of our choice. Okay, then what will happen? See, we can see at the top is the preview section. Okay, we can see there is a mini preview box. A mini preview of the screensaver will be displayed in the preview box. See, a preview box is a very small box which is at the top of the window. Here we can see a mini preview of the screensaver. You can see how your screensaver will look after it has been set on the screen. From here you can check how the screen. Okay, after that, if you want to watch the full if you want to watch the preview on the full screen, you want to watch the preview not in the small box but on the full screen, then what you will do? For that, we have to click on the preview button. See, the preview button is given over there. For that, we have to click on the preview button. Then what will happen? After clicking on the preview button, we have to wait for a few seconds. Okay, after waiting for a few seconds, you will see that you will get the preview on the full screen of the selected screensaver. Whatever screensaver you have selected, you will see that the preview of the screensaver will be obtained. It will be seen on the full screen. Okay. Now, after you have tested, you have chosen your screensaver, you have selected, you have done your final selection. After that, what you will do? Now you will move the mouse to get back to the screensaver window. Okay, from the preview window, once you have to move the mouse. After moving the mouse, you will get back from the preview window to your original screensaver window. Okay, why we are going back to the screensaver window? Because by using this screensaver window, we are going to save this screensaver. We are going to set this screensaver by using this screensaver window option. Okay, so after you get back to the screensaver window, what you will do? We have to set the time also. Here, what is the next step? The next step is to set the time in the wait box. In the wait box, you will set the waiting time. Here we are setting the waiting time. This is the time for which the system will wait. Okay, before activating the screensaver, the system will wait. It will check whether the system is idle for that period of time or not. For example, if I set the wait time to be 5 minutes, so what will happen? The system will check for 5 minutes continuously. Okay, the system will check whether the system is idle for continuously for 5 minutes or not. If the computer is not working for 5 minutes continuously, then automatically the screensaver will be activated on the screen. It will start appearing on the screen. Okay, now you can use there are two arrows there. Okay, one is the up arrow and one is the down arrow. Okay, these up and down arrows are used for increasing or decreasing the wait time. You can use the up arrow to increase the time for the waiting, and you can use the down arrow for decreasing the wait time. Then you will click on OK to set that selected screensaver for your desktop screensaver. Okay, if you click on OK, then what will happen? That selected screensaver will be set as a screensaver for your computer screen. Okay, now we come on to the new topic, which is mouse pointer shapes. Okay, what is there for the mouse pointer shapes? See, actually we are having 6 different types of mouse pointer shapes. See, all of us know that the mouse is used for performing a variety of tasks. Mouse is not only just used for clicking or for selecting or for pointing. It can be used for a variety of tasks, and depending on a variety of tasks for which a mouse can be used, we are also having a variety of mouse pointers also. Depending on the different types of actions that a mouse can perform, different types of mouse pointers are also displayed on the screen. Okay, the shape of the mouse pointer will change according to the actions which we are performing with the help of the mouse. Okay, like for example, the first type of shape is the busy shape. Busy shape means what? That the computer is busy and wants you to wait. See, many of us must have seen this busy shape. This is like a revolving circle. It is like a rotating circle type of shape is there. So what happens when you see this shape, this round circle shape, when you see it means that the computer is busy and it wants you to wait. Okay, then the second is the normal shape. Normal shape is the pointer or the arrow shape. Okay, this is a normal arrow shaped pointer. This normal arrow shaped pointer is used for pointing, selecting and dragging the items on the screen. This normal shape is used for pointing, selecting as well as dragging the items on the screen. Then we come on to the double-headed arrow. The double-headed arrow pointer is used for what? For resizing the windows or pictures. Resizing means what? Either for increasing the size of the pictures or windows or for decreasing the size of the windows or pictures. For that, this type of double-headed arrow is used for resizing the windows or pictures. Now we come on to the next one, which is the four-headed arrow. Okay, this four-headed arrow is used for moving pictures and toolbars. This four-headed arrow is used for moving the pictures and toolbars. Okay, when you see that is for whenever we want to move any picture on the screen or you want to move the toolbar on the screen, then what we can do? For that we can use the mouse pointer, which is the four-headed arrow mouse pointer. So the 4-headed arrow mouse pointer means for which is having 4 heads. You can see here in this picture what is there. It is showing 4 arrowheads. Okay, it is showing 4 arrowheads. So this 4-headed arrow mouse pointer can be used for moving the pictures and the toolbars on the screen. It is different from the normal arrow pointer. The normal arrow pointer is used for what? It is used for pointing, selecting or dragging the items on the screen, and this 4-headed arrow is used for moving the pictures and toolbars on the screen. Okay, and the double-headed arrow is used for resizing the window or pictures. Now we come on to these two are the next two used. These two are the next two pointer shapes. What are these two pointer shapes? The next is the I-beam. Okay, I-beam is used for what? I-beam is a very commonly used mouse pointer which is used in the case of text document. Okay, whenever we are typing something in the text document, you must have seen that the mouse pointer shape will change to this I shape. Okay, this I-beam shape or the I shape mouse pointer is used whenever we are typing anything in a text document. Like whenever we are working on the Word, or we are typing something in PowerPoint or somewhere else. Whenever we are typing something, you must have seen that in a text document, whenever we are inserting a text, in the case of inserting a text in a document, what type of pointer you will see? You will always see this I shape pointer. This I-beam shape pointer is mouse pointer is used whenever we are trying to insert any text in a document. Okay. Now we come on to the last type of mouse pointer shape. This is also used sometimes. This arrow along with the circle. This arrow along with the circle mouse pointer shape is used for denoting some work in the background. It means that the computer is processing. It is doing some work in the background while you are working. Okay, whenever there is some process, whenever there is some program which is running in the background means what? That process is not active. That process window is not displayed on the screen. Okay, we are not working actively on that program on the screen. We have not opened that program actively on the screen, but it is running in the background. It is not hidden. It is not shown to us. It is hidden. That program is hidden, but it is running in the background. So this means that at that point of time, what type of pointer will be shown? Arrow with the circle. This arrow with the circle pointer means that some work is going on in the background. It means that the computer is processing something. It is working on some program while you are working on some other program. Okay, so these are the main 6 type of mouse pointers. Okay, some are very commonly used, some are less commonly used, but these are the main 6 type of pointers which you will see in your computer when you are working on it. Okay, now we come on to the last topic of this video, which is shutting down the computer. Okay, our last topic is how to shut down the computer. Shutting down the computer is very simple. What is the meaning of shutting down? See, shutting down means turning off a computer. Okay, shutting down means turning off a computer. How we can do that? To show the given steps. For the given steps, these steps are very simple. First of all, what we have to do, we have to click on the start button. First of all, we have to click on the start button. Then what we will do? Then we will select the shutdown button. Okay, first of all, click on the start button. Then on the start button, you will get the option for, you can see in this because you can see in the figure 4.12. This shutting down is shown in the figure 4.12 on page number 39. Okay, on page number 39, you can see this figure 4.12. Here you can see this. What is this? First of all, you have to click on the start button. Okay, and then in the second step, you have to click on the shutdown button. This shutdown button is given in the start menu. Okay, when you click on the start button, what will happen? The start window will appear. Okay, the start menu will appear. In the start menu window, you have to the shutdown button is given at the bottom. So you have to click in you have to select the shutdown button. You have to click on the shutdown button. So as soon as you click on the shutdown button, then what will happen? The system will take a few seconds, and after that it will shut down. Why it takes a few seconds? Because a system takes few seconds to shut down, because it has to close all the processes, all the programs which are running. See, whenever a computer is running, a number of programs are running in the memory. A number of computers are running in the program, in the computer's memory, in the RAM. Okay, in the primary memory of the computer. So all those programs have to be properly shut. Okay, that is why a computer takes few seconds to shut down. Otherwise, what will happen if we shut the computer instantaneously, abruptly, without the proper procedure? Then what will happen? We may also lose some data also. Okay, in order to save our data, in order to shut all the programs, the computer always takes few seconds or maybe sometimes half minute or 1 minute to shut down. Okay, so this is the steps for shutting down the computer. One thing we have left in the chapter, this I will discuss. This is about booting. Okay, this is a very small topic is left here on page number 37. You can see in the know the fact box, you can see this definition is given over here. What is the definition? This is the definition definition. When a computer is switched on, Windows takes a few seconds to load an operating system. So when you must have noticed this also. Those of you who are having a computer at home, you must have seen this. Whenever you switch on a computer, whenever you power on a computer, the computer takes a few seconds to load an operating system. The computer takes a few seconds to load the operating system. Okay, this process of loading the operating system is called booting. What is the meaning of booting? Booting means the process of loading the operating system in the computer memory is known as booting. When does booting occur? When we switch on the computer. Okay, when a computer is switched on, Windows takes a few seconds to load an operating system. Okay, this process of loading the OS is called booting. Okay, unless and until booting occurs, we will not be able to work on the computer, because the operating system is always responsible for managing and controlling the process of the computer. If the operating system is not loaded into memory, will we be able to work on the computer? No, we will never be able to work on the computer unless the operating system has been properly loaded into the memory. That is why it is very important to load the operating system into the memory. Why? Because without loading the operating system into memory, we will not be able to control and manage the computer, and this process is known as booting. Okay, so with this we have completed the chapter. Okay, you can revise the recap also very carefully, because some of these recap points can be asked in the form of MCQ questions also. Okay, so these recap points are also very important. We can go through them, we can revise the full chapter. In the next video, I will discuss the exercises and question answers with you. Okay, next week we will discuss the exercises and question answers with you all. Okay, I hope you have understood the video. I will end the video here only. God bless you all. Stay healthy and stay safe at home and study properly. Thank you, students, and goodbye.